Drew James here from LearnGuitarInLondon.com. I hope you're having a great day. I'm playing a heavily requested song, 59th Bridge Street song, or Feelin Groovy, which I've always known it as. I didn't even know. When someone said to me, play the 59th Bridge Street song, Drew, I was like, well, what the heck is that? But as soon as I heard of the Feelin Groovy thing, I was like, yeah, of course. The beauty of this is it's so simple. It's just a couple of bars of music, which really isn't much. Okay, the fingerstyle is a little fast, and I'm going to be showing you about how to speed train that and bring that up a little bit. There's kind of one picking pattern throughout the whole thing. Some nice little harmonics at the beginning, which I'll get into just now. We'll have tab on screen for this lesson so you can follow along, and I'll be showing you what fingers to use in the picking. Let's start learning how to do it. Let's look at the main riff slowly. Like I said in my intro, really that is what goes on throughout all of the song, more or less, apart from the intro, which I'll show you. So let's break it down. First of all, it's done as fingerstyle guitar. And I like to use the fingerstyle rule of the thumb playing the top three strings, so the E, A and the D string. The index finger plays the G string, middle finger plays the B, and the ring finger plays the E. Now, it could be that in the pinches that you feel like, so pinches where you pull two strings at the same time, that you prefer to use your middle finger on the thinnest string, and that's fine by me. But I do like to keep this rule this way, which is based on a classical approach, just so that if ever you needed to play faster or do things called rolls, then you've got the fingers to do it rather than having your middle finger down there. But anyway, it's fine if you do feel like you want to use your middle finger on the thinnest string. So first things first, we need a capo on fret 3 for it to be the same key as the song. If that's too high for you, because I think both their voices are quite high in this, and if you're a bloke singing it especially, you might want to take the capo off completely or move the capo down a little bit. But this keeps it like the key of the song. So the tab's on screen, and we're just going to be starting on fret 3 on the A string, okay? And so it's based upon a C chord. So if you know your C chord, all you need is the ring finger of that C chord. So you can just place that ring finger down on fret 3 on the A string. You're going to strike that with your thumb, and then you're going to pinch that string that you're holding down and the thinnest string. Now, like I said, I use my ring finger to do that, but you could use your middle if you wanted. Okay, so that's the beginning. And then we have got the 2nd fret on the A string and the 3rd fret on the B string. This is making a G over B chord there. So it's the way that I suggest to use the fingers for this is to use your middle finger on fret 2 on the A string and your pinky finger on fret 3. Now, for those of you that maybe haven't been playing as long, that might feel a little bit unnatural and a little bit difficult to do. But the reason why I suggest this is because we're going to 1st fret on the B string into the next part that we haven't done yet, but it leaves our index finger spare to do that. Now, it's optional. If you can play it this way, the 2 and 3, with the index and the ring like this. It just means that your index finger's got to take a journey to travel, okay? But either works, either is okay. But I suggest to strengthen those fingers, use your middle and pinky so your index is spare. Anyway, when you've made that, you're going to pinch those 2 strings, so that's thumb and middle finger, then open on the G string with the index, open on the D, and open on the G. So putting that all together. Good, next bar, 1st fret on the B string, not holding down anything else, pinching the A string and the B string there with thumb and middle finger, then index on the G, thumb on the D, then lift up this finger on fret 1 on the B string to do a 0. Okay, and to finish, 3rd fret on the thickest string to give us the key of the song, playing that note with the thumb, then index on G, thumb on D, and index on G, all on open strings. If you can, keep this held down while you're playing them. So that bar again is again, Good, so that is the intro, that's the first 2 bars. Now the next 2 bars are the main riff. So the intro just misses out a couple of open G strings. So this is the main theme that runs throughout. So you come back to your 3rd fret on the A string, then we've got thumb, index, pinch, thumb, index on the G string open, pinch, thumb and ring on the E string, then index. So the beginning misses that out, whereas when we get into the main riff, so we've got 1, 2, or 1 and 2 and. Okay, so that's the main riff. So there's a slight variation from the intro 2 bars to the main thing that runs throughout the whole song. That's the main thing. And then the rest we've already learned. That repeats. And hopefully you're getting the hang of it. Take your time, make sure you've got clean notes. Make sure that these fingers aren't choking some of those open strings. A common one is when you're doing this chord, the 2nd fret and the 3rd fret, for this finger to drop down and mute that open D string. And you're getting that sort of noise. So just keep your fingers on their tips, push your wrist out a little bit. Okay. Now before we go any further, I just want to talk a little bit about the rhythm. Not too much, but just a bit. So this is played with swing beat. So we're not going 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Instead we're going 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Think blues. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. So it's played with swing. Now some of you may be doing the swing naturally and automatically. Some of you maybe all you can do is swing. But then there's consequently some of you that all you can do is straight time, which would be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, rather than 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now this song is played with the latter, it's played with swing. So we're 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So it's got that swing feel to it rather than straight time. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Okay, so just look into that. Look into the swing time. If you're not sure what I'm talking about, you haven't got a clue, then I've included a link to a video lesson right now that I've done on swing versus straight 8th beats, and that helps explain it a little bit further still. So let's come back to the song to finish it off now, okay? So we've got that main theme, the intro as we've had, just to recap. Then we're into the main riff with the extra notes. We do that again. And we do that a final time. Now when we get to here, instead of going, we're normally, this time we're going, and we're going to find fret 12 on the B string. Now it's a little tricky with the capo being there, because normally we've got our 2 white dots on the neck to say, right, well that's fret 12, that's definitely where we're going to be. But we need to move up 3 frets from there because of the capo's positioning. So technically we're on fret 15, and we're going to play things called harmonics. Now this means that the fret marker for 16 needs to be going right down your middle finger, as closely as possible to your middle finger. This is called finding the sweet spot for the harmonic. So if you're in the middle of the fret of 15, you won't get a nice sound, whereas if you're over the sweet spot of the marker, you will get that harmonic sound. So it's very important as you look down the instrument that you check where fret 16 marker is, even if you need to count them all the way up. And you make sure that that marker splits your middle finger right down the middle. So you're going to select that note on the B string, you're going to hold it and feather it slightly with your middle finger. Don't put your finger on its, don't play it like this on the side, right? So instead, you want it to keep it flat and upright. Literally like you're giving somebody the middle finger, right? So you're keeping it kind of very flat and you're just touching, not using your callus, using the fleshy part of your finger, because we want a light touch. You're going to hold it very lightly and strike hard. I like to use my middle finger to do that. Then you're going to do the same on the string above and the same on the string above. So you get this, that sound. You need to move your finger each time. I don't recommend having a bar going over in this particular instance because of how high up the neck we are, right? But that's what we're looking for. They're called harmonics. You'll know you've got them right because you'll actually get some volume coming out of them and they won't be like this, you know, or dead like that. So strike them hard and feather them. So you've done those three, so I'll put it in context. So you are going to have to make a considerable movement up and down the neck to find them. Consequently, if they're too difficult for you, you can just do open strings on the B, G and D. You don't have to do those harmonics. But I'll put them in. Then we've got a bass run that does this. 2nd fret on the thickest string, 3rd fret on the thickest string, open on the A, 2nd fret on the A, and then we're into the riff over and over again. Sorry. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's when the singing starts. And then round you go, round and round and round and round and round and round, until eventually you strum a G at the end to finish the song. It's a nice, simple song, but I have gone into a lot of detail there for you because I do want you to get it right. If you're finding it difficult to bring it up to speed, start slow and build up by 10 BPM, beats per minute increments using your metronome. Keep on playing, see you again soon.